Basically, everything comes from the soil. Our food comes from the soil. The animals that we eat, their food comes from the soil. The water that we consume, that we use, even our oceans and our rivers and our streams, everything that we need to survive is from the soil. So it's a really important part of the ecosystem that we don't really talk enough about. I'm Enzo Pinga, and I believe in sustainable farming. That first summer that we experienced was really brutal, so I was new to this whole thing. When we harvested our first crop, which was calabaza at that time, a week after our first harvest, the prices dropped to 8 pesos per kilo because there was just oversupply in the system. This is a typical scenario for regular Filipino farmers. If there's a glut in supply, then the prices drop and they don't get their efforts worth. I worked for an NGO. The thing is that the impact was focused on Africa, and I just had the desire to come back to the Philippines and then just start something here. We started building these aquaponic systems. It's a soilless farming that uses up to 90% less water. Since a lot of the resources were tools that were only available abroad, we had to adapt. We went to junk shops for different containers. We used bathtubs for fish ponds. But it served as my gateway into caring for the plants, consuming the food that we grew. This whole cycle got me hooked. When you go back to working the land, you're forced to slow down and to recalibrate that internal system of yours that is used to instant gratification, and it teaches you patience and hard work and sacrifice all over again. You can try your hardest to speed up this process, but in the end, nature wins. Nobody in my immediate family has any professional or educational background in farming and agriculture, so it's a conscious decision on my part to do it.
Kuya, sa palengke po.
One of the places that I really make an effort to visit whenever I go to any province is the local market, because you see, all types of goods there.
Alam niyo po ba kung saan galing? Pahingin sa pre-taste.
Pwede. Basta ikaw.
It's very likely that you'll find, apples, oranges, grapes, even pears in any local market around the country. These are all imported. When you think about all of our other native fruits that have lost its commercial value, atis or siniguelas, balimbing, mabolo, they're not as abundant in the market anymore. It made me reflect also a lot about where can I best place myself. When you meet older farmers, for me, that's where I get to learn the most. They have some really solid organic farming practices that nobody is recording. The average age of the Filipino farmer is 57. That just represents no young people getting into that space. Nobody wants to enter into farming because they don't see that there's a future in it. We can be like a proof of concept and be like, hey, I can do the same. So if we continue to nourish the soil, farmers can yield better produce and earn more. They can elevate their way of living. And in a market where we're eating more local produce, people get to appreciate what we have and eat healthy. As that demand increases, even slowly, more farmers can really begin to live better lives, as we support them and earn what they deserve from their efforts and their sacrifice.